Hey everyone, Egman here with a very, I guess, experimental video. So, preface, why it looks like crap right now. So, if you don't know, I play hockey, and I sometimes I get like some super late games, and so I had a 10 o'clock game tonight. And the greatest part about that is that you get so much adrenaline after playing hockey in any sport for any matter that you really can't sleep for like another hour or two. So I'm making a video tonight, even though I probably should just try to go to bed and probably fail. But I'm going to be doing that, and then also to help make it easier to go to bed, I'm going to do a drinking game of the last review. So I really wanted to do that, and I thought it was fun and just whatever random. I just wanted a gimmick so people would actually watch my reviews, even though they probably have their own kind of thoughts about the cards. So, drinking game is if I use the adjectives very, really, are I think just really and very. I know that a lot of my stuff is ad lib, and because of that, I kind of fall into some ruts about saying the same words. So I'll be for those, I'll be taking just a drink of beer, and then or like cider, and then if I say, I think the super words that I use are degenerate and like just the phrase really good are very good. If I cut myself off in the really or the very, I'll take a drink. If I say degenerate or if I say really good or very good, that whole phrase, I'll be taking a shot of a 4 mana 6 damage. That's a fireball for you non-Hearthstone players. So yeah, I'm going to be doing that. Join along. You probably won't because I release this at like 8 a.m. Kansas time every day, so hopefully you're not drinking then. But let's just jump into it and see what kind of train wreck we're gonna jump on into. So let's start this. It's gonna be the red and green cards from set 7. You probably have your own opinions, but let's go and let's just do a ceremonious shot from here. So, all right. So, oh, we've got two red leaders. We've got a OG Broly. I've been waiting for another one of these guys already tricky for a long time. The two Brolys that we have, the green one and the black one, both of them are draw twos, and I feel like there can be a lot of advantage from an untap leader. So we've got this guy. He's got critical. And also, that's pretty much it. But also, when this card is placed in your leader area, choose it to one dormant legend from your deck and activate it. We'll get to that card later. Just know that it is a good card to use. And then also, when your life is at 4 or less, you may draw one card, then choose up to one of your energies to active and flip this card over. So draw one, untap one is good enough for me. And then also, auto when this card attacks, draw one, and active main once per turn. Choose one card in your hand, place in your drop area. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with 10k power or less, and KO it. So being able to KO your opponent's cards are good, and then also there are some ways that these like the archetype cards for this new red Broly can just reduce energy costs. So then you can still kill them, bigger guys as long as you get their energy level low enough. In general, this leader seems relevant and good for the meta. I think there will be a lot of experimentation with him. And just the untap is great, the critical is great, and Dormant Legends is also great for it. Though it doesn't lend itself to mono green. It's really weird that they have a red Broly, a green Broly, and a black Broly. So I'm guessing like the next one is going to be like it's probably going to be yellow or blue. But I think it's funny how much color identity that Broly doesn't have. So very somewhat standard, but I think great. Just the fact that he has critical on the front side will help out a lot, and then additional advantage on the back side. So there's that, and there's also Sun Gohan. I don't know how I feel this leader, and partially because I haven't tested him at all. I don't really subscribe to the aggro lifestyle, but I would think that he can do a good job at it. So active main was turn burst 2. Choose one card in your life, add it to your hand. If your opponent has 5 or more life, deal 1 damage to your opponent, which is a really unique skill. I said really, dang it. All right, unique skill. And then also, when your life is at 4 or less, you may draw 2 cards and flip this card over. If this card was an untapped 2, there are a lot of shenanigans that you can do with GT Gohan or GT Goku, and it's a red Saiyan leader, so you can get like the can't be negated stuff. So that was a good decision by Bandai in this, making him an untapped 2. But on the Awaken side, so Sparking 5, draw 1. And then also, once per turn, when one of your battle cards activates Alliance, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with 30k power or less and KO it. So, I really like these kind of like, they're kind of going into this direction where there are kind of like these continuous triggers that happen, if then kind of effects. And I really do like those. I said really again. Dang it. I like those effects. I think they can help out with the game, and you can kind of get some cool deck building with it. So that's what I like. And then also activate once per turn, Sparking 5. Choose 3 cards from your hand, place them in your drop area. Choose all your red and green battle cards, then and the chosen cards get plus 10k power for your turn. So it also has just a great way for finishing the game. It's kind of like, this is almost like a wish leader in a lot of ways, which is interesting to say the least. But I really haven't played this, and I haven't seen it, to be honest. But I would think that this would have a pretty good chance of just being an aggro red leader. And just the fact that you can like ping life synonymous with your opponent. And additionally, like self-awakening is good. Being able to deal damage without your opponent being able to do anything is good. And all that. So I think this leader can help out like an aggro playstyle. We haven't seen an aggro playstyle really outside of Storm for a really long time. So there is that. So next up, we're gonna look at the green leaders real quick. Let's just look at the red cards first. We'll go back and forth. So actually, no, you know what? There's a good reason to go green. So we're gonna look at the green ones. So first one is Raditz, and I'm doing that because there's multicolor stuff, so just because your leader is green doesn't mean you're only using green cards. But this is like the one leader I've kind of invested in, at least channel wise. I think I like the hand control archetype and all that, so I immediately thought this was a cool leader to do that. So when this card attacks leader, your opponent chooses one card from their hand and sends it to their warp. And also active main once per turn, look at the top 5 cards from your deck, and then choose one red or green Raditz, Vegeta, or Nappa. Among them, add them to your hand, then shuffle your deck, and if you added a card to your hand, choose one card from your hand and place it to your drop area. So, long story short, this guy gets a +1 by warping your opponent's cards in their hands, which can be annoying to say the least. And also, since it's warping and not discarding, your opponent can't play Tau and stop this effect, so that helps out a lot as well. And then also the cycle ability is great, just being able to find the pieces that you need. Raditz, Vegeta, and Nappa are all relevant cards, and I also think that being able to just slowly fill up your drop area for like sparking stuff can help with the deck as well. So it's and it really just helps the consistency too. I know you're not going +1 searching for those cards, but being able to find like your Vegetas on turn 3 and then Rats and Nappa on turn 1 and 2 can just help this deck out a whole lot. So Awaken, when your life is at 4 or less, you choose one energy, switch it to active mode, and flip this card over. I think he would be okay if it was untap 1, draw 1. This card can, like, the trade-off for warping cards from your opponent's hand is this leader, and a lot of cards in this archetype have a really hard time gaining card advantage. So even though you're warping cards from your opponent's hand, your hand isn't like super big, though it's still consistent. That's why I like the active main once per turn. And I really, I don't think you like awaken with this leader quickly. You just slowly chip away at your opponent, and then when you need to awaken, you do that. So, interesting play style, and I really like it. When this card attacks the leader, your opponent chooses one card from their hand and sends it to their warp. So same thing on the awaken side. You still don't get card draw, and then also choose up to one of your red or green standing cards in your battle area, gets plus 5k power for duration on the turn. I honestly think the unawakened side is better. Even with like the 5k boost, I'd rather be able to search and find the cards I need from the top 5 in my deck. So there's that guy. You also get a Son Goku. I hate his front side. I felt like they were gone from this, when this card attacks leader, cards draw ones, but there's that. And also he's got a weird awaken, so when your life is at 4 or less, you may draw one card then choose one of your energy active mode and flip this card over. So you can really awaken on turn 1. Or sorry, no, sorry. It's life is 4 or less. Sorry, I thought it was energy. Man, that it's only apple cider, but man, it's affecting me so quickly. So there's that. It's just lame. But at least it's a draw 1, untap 1. I think that is a more flexible version of either version. So there's that. So permanent, you can't send cards from your drop area to your warps. There's probably some combo with that I'm not thinking about that would be really, really good at that idea. So there's that, and then when this card attacks, draw 1 on the front side or back side as well. But the auto burst 7. When your opponent attacks with a card, negate the attack, then negate the skill for duration of the turn. Being able to, is this the first attack that? I'm not sure the ruling. I know that sometimes when an effect says this, it means the first attack they make. I'm not sure because there's no conditional. I think it's the first attack they do, which is kind of stinky. There's also what active mana return when your life is at 1. Choose all your opponent's battle cards, block and KO them. This card, we'll see the card that this leader jives with later, but I'm not impressed with this leader. It is a green Goku though, so the 1-drop Krillin from the anniversary box can use his effects on this. But let me check real quick. So like if we look at like the red, let's see, the thing I remember the most is like the red Frieza, like the 5-drop from the swap engine. When your opponent declares to play a battle card, activate skill. If your leader's so I think it's literally the first attack, because like if we look at this guy in the awakened side, when this card is attacked, you may place 2 Universe 7 cards from your hand, place them in your drop area. If you do so, negate this attack and the skill for duration of the turn. So this is literally this. But though burst is optional, right? Burst is an optional card, so you can choose not to use burst, and because it's behind burst, you can choose when you use burst. Okay, I think that's how the ruling is going to work. I'm not sure. I'm going to say since burst is optional, then you get to choose when you activate this auto. That's what I'm going to say. It'd be stupid otherwise. So there's that. We're just gonna skip to the cards now. So the red from set 7, right there. Because there's no Frieza. That's why. All right, so red has some interesting. I'm gonna call them filler cards because that's literally what they are. This Cocoa Village Princess, like this village stuff, it's not good. It is not super good. It's bad, but we'll just like it's not. There's no archetype around it. They're just like generically okay cards that other colors get these cards for like some sort of archetype, but these cards don't. So we've got Cocoa Village Princess. Activate once per turn. Choose 1 card in your hand. Place in your drop area. Draw 1 card. We had this like back in like set 3 or 4. I think it was like set 4 with Pan, like the baby Pan. But I guess they want this for every color. So now we've got it with this Earthling Cocoa. So there's that. We've got Exalted Trio Videl. So when you play this card, look top 3 cards from your deck, choose up to 1 red or green Son Gohan, Adolescence, Son Goten, or Trunks Youth. Among them, add them to your hand and place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. I don't know why this is 4K. I think 5K would have been fine. That's just really obnoxious to me. But there we go. Like it doesn't make sense. Like you only look top 3, and they're like a lot of cards you can find from there, but it's not. I don't think it's oppressive. I think it would have been fine at 5K. I don't think this Village Princess is any more powerful than Videl. So I don't know. We're gonna talk about that later. So we got Father Figure Piccolo here. When you play this card, look at the top 7 cards from your deck. Choose up to 1 Son Gohan Youth. Among them with energy cost 2 or less. Add them to your hand, then shuffle your deck. Like, why is this card a 5K and this one's not a 5K? Are they really afraid of it being broken? I guess so. So we've got this red Namekian Piccolo instead. So this is okay. I don't think when in like set 2 and 3, these cards that looked top X cards for X were kind of exciting and kind of necessary, but I don't think they're as necessary as before. And I think they've kind of gotten smarter where they limit what they like the conditions for it. Some of the like set 1 and 2 cards are too vague, and they have to kind of plan around that. But I don't think like people will play these cards, but they're not exciting. I guess that's what it is. So, in talking about that, we've got Raditz the Oppressor. So. People will play this card for sure. It's just like the Whis and Borgos that we've been playing, and just the fact that every color gets it now, which should have been like the case already, is okay. This card would have been great like a set ago, like way back in like March when like Super Shenron was running around. I think this would have been more conducive than right now. I mean, people are still on tapping energy, but it's not as like oppressive at it as it has been before. So there's that, but still a great card. And it's Raditz, so and it's a draw 1, so it's gonna be put in the Raditz deck. So next we've got Wilderness Training Son Gohan. When you play this card, draw 1. Boom, great, you won. There's some cards that you want to Gohan out, but that's like the minimum effort. Another one of these village dudes. So when you play this card, choose it to 1 Coco Village Princess from your deck, add it to your hand, then shuffle your deck. This card's trash. 2 energy to like find a card that doesn't do anything. If this said, instead of play this card, choose it to 1 Coco from your deck and play it, it still wouldn't be broken. Like it'd still like maybe be seen as like a small draw engine, but 2 energy for this, like it's just pack filler. I don't even pay attention to him. Next up, we've got Denial of Hope. So if your leader card is red, if the battle card your opponent playing has 2k power or less, it is placed in the owner's drop area instead of being played. I think this is low key better than Preemptive Strike. I believe that the amount of targets that this guy can hit are a lot more than Preemptive Strike in a lot of ways. I think 2k is like the standard for like a really high cost card. Oh, I said really again. Dang it. So I think this will hit a lot of cards, and I mean I don't think I've said it in like a video outright, but I think counterplays are going to be way more relevant for this upcoming meta. So this can be one of the better ones, and I think Red's going to be able to shine a little bit more than it has been in the past couple months. So expect to see this card. If your opponent's sitting on 2 red energy, this card's just sitting in their hand. So play something with 21k power. So next up, you've got Dormant Legend. Oh, look, it's that card I mentioned like 30 minutes ago about on Broly. So it's a field card. You can't place cards under this except for this card's skill. So you can't use the the Cell Games guys, like what is it, Popovich? I think that's his name. You can't just put 5 cards under this with Popovich. Sorry, buddy. But when a card in your life is added to the top 3 cards, when a card in your life is added to your hand are placed in the drop area during your opponent's turn, place the top card of your deck under this card. And then also, if you have 3 or more cards under this, place this card in your drop area, then choose up to 1 red Broly with energy cost of 4 from your deck and play it. Then shuffle your deck. So also, there are a couple new red Brolys, but also I believe that it hits red green Brolys as well. So there are a lot of targets for this. Playing a 4-drop for free is fantastic. It's pretty much based on your leader. I don't know if you'd want to run more than one of these in a red Broly deck, but I think just having the one playing, he plays it from the when you place the Broly leader in your leader area, this comes into play. So that's helps the deck a lot too, and it's just another burst of advantage. So cool card. Next up we've got Elder Village Guardian. So like once again, I was already kind of complaining about this of where they just have this like non-archetype have all these like kind of like staple cards for red. So this is the Janemba hate one. I've already talked about it. It's okay. I just like no synergy with anything. It's an Earthling, but I don't think that's important enough. That's a really underrated tag. Next up, okay, we've got these Exalted Trio. So this is the Son Goten one. You can only have one of these Gotens and play in your battle area. And if you have a Videl card and play in your battle area, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 1. So if you have this Videl out, then this is a 1 cost. Neat. When this card attacks, there's a Trunk the Youth in play in your battle area. This card gets plus 5k power and double strike for station in the turn. So 15k double strike is fine, and this is, I believe, the same thing with the Vidal and everything. It's just if you have the Sun Code 10 out, you get plus 5k power in critical. We pretty much saw these with the World Martial Arts Tournament stuff, but now they are 2 drops that can become 1 drop. So there you go. Next up, one of the most broken cards, I think, potentially in the set. So one is the Desire, which can be crazy. We only have, I don't know if I said really. I'm going to take a drink. I might have said that. All right. If your leader card is red, choose up to 1 red Saiyan card in your drop area with a cost of 3 or less and 15k power or less and play it. If this card already had this effect, I believe it would see play, but additionally, it says if you played a card, choose up to 2 Dragon Ball with cards from your deck and add them to your hand, then shuffle your deck. There's only 1 red Wish Leader, but just the fact that you are able to go essentially +2 with this card for 2 energy is outrageous, I'd say. Being able to go +2 and mana curve up. So for 2 energy, you get a 3 drop and 2 cards in your hand. That's absurd amount of power. So I think there's, look out for this card. People are gonna break it real easy. I've seen builds where like people are just playing Pan, but they've got some Dragon Balls in their deck because it's always a combo card. And guess what? You get to, if you play Familiar Bonds, then you get an extra 2 combo power for essentially free. So look out for that. I'm not gonna say that red, like the Oolong Leader sucks. I'm gonna say it, but so it needed another like Awakening card like this, but this I think is a little bit too open-ended, and I expect someone to really break this card in the next couple weeks. So next up, we've got a Krillin Super Combo. It's based on life. Cool, we did it. Next, we've got this Natante Village Monster. Hey, it's Yamcha. Cool, we did it. Hey, we've got this Shaman Ritual Master. Hey, when you play this card, you draw 1. It's a 2k or 2 drop with 5k. When you play this card, when a card is placed in your opponent's life, when a card in your opponent's life is placed in your drop area, and you play this card in its owner's drop area, if you do, choose 1 red Villager do and play it. So this can be like all right. This is pretty much the only meh thing. So you crit your opponent. This card is already on the field, and then you get to play the 2 drop from it. Like it just doesn't feel, I don't know. Like if this was a 20k that said draw 1, I don't think it'd be played. And that's pretty much what's happening with extra steps, right? You got to play this guy who went to a party last night and has a tie on his head and say, okay, I draw 1 and then I hope I get an attack through with crit because I really need to summon this 2k or 20k monster. It's just bad. This just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I don't know why they did it. Next up, we've got the Final Guardian. This is their new negate mechanic. So this one is if your leader cards renegade the attack, then choose up to 1 of your battle cards against plus 5k power duration of the turn. This one, that's not like super good. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say that too. There's going to be a lot of things that I say. I'm going to say it tonight. So it's just you can play it from your drop area by paying its energy cost and dropping a card from hand. Oh, McAfee, not now. Come on. We talked about this. And I don't think giving a card plus 5k power is amazing. Though, like, if you look at the blue one and like the green, like all the other colors, they're not amazing either. But I think, like this is like I don't know. I feel like you'd be able to resolve the giving plus 5k more than anything else consistently, but it just doesn't feel like it does too much. So unless you just have a card in rest mode that your opponent's attacking a lot, like I guess it could be good if you've got like a Deadly Defender out, and then you can just play this, and now you got a better Deadly Defender. But I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be great. We've got Helping Hand Son Gohan, so counterattack, negate the cost, negate the attack, and play this card instead. During your opponent's turn, if Son Goten and Trunks are playing your battle, you reduce the energy cost card in your hand by 2. So this is the no, we got another one, right? Yeah, okay, but this is an okay card, I'd say. Being able to play this for 1 energy for a 15k is good good energy efficiency. Being able to negate the attack is fine. playing this on your opponent's turn, and it's a 15k. So I can see if you've got like a pan deck where you play these Sengotuns and Trunks for whatever reason, then you can play this for 1. You negate the attack, you get a card draw, you get a 15k out. All that feels really good. I think this card has some potential, but I don't. It's just going to depend on how steep this Exalted Trio kind of stuff is going to be, but not too bad. I think it's fine. Last Resort Vegeta. So this is a card for the Raditz engine. So deflect, when you play this card, choose 1 card from your hand. When you play this card from your hand, your lead card is Raditz. You may choose 1 card in your hand and place in your drop area. And if you do so, choose 1 Powerball from your deck, activate, and shuffle your deck. So this is pretty much being able to play Powerball, which is the 3 energy card already, for free. You got to discard a card, but you get like a 10k Vegeta, which you can like immediately evolve into the 6-drop. So I think this is relevant. It's also only 1 specific red, so not super hard to get out, but I think this is okay. Just helps out the combo. And the fact that it has deflect means that you have like a pretty much guaranteed way to get the big ape out with this card, so I think that's good enough. Next up, we've got the red counterplay. And so if you have a multicolored card in your energy, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 1. When you play this card, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards against minus 10k power for duration of the turn. Then if it's your opponent's turn, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and it gets minus 5k power for duration of the turn. So this card can like potentially destroy 2 cards of your opponent's, which I think is fine enough. But I think this also has like the least potential to do something. Giving something like I think you can pick both cards, both the same target for both effects, so you can give it minus 15k. But I don't think it's great, but it's a counterplay and it can see stuff. You can see some play. I think this is a good case where Denial of Hope is strictly better in a lot of ways, because this can't even destroy a 20k. This can only destroy a 15k. In a lot of ways, though, I guess if you reduce it to a 5k, it's not doing anything. But I still think I'd rather have the ability to just negate the auto, or not have the auto come into effect. So I think this is that's like that. But it's still like a 15k Son Goku that maybe you can see like some playing like Vegito, and then you already have some multicolored cards. I think I don't remember which side of the rulings that these Vegetos are on, or like the red Vegeta leader is, but you get a Goku out that does something, and then you can bring out a Vegeta, and then you can go into some stuff. So, all right card, but not probably one of the weaker of the counterplay dudes from this set. So next up, we've got Son Goku Heavenly Salvation, who has annoyingly 14k. I don't know why. That just drives me nuts. But so auto, when this skill is activate the skill when you play Son Gohan and Son Goten's familiar bonds in your battle area. If Son Goku Heavenly Salvation isn't in play in your battle area, you may play this card. And then auto, once per turn, when this card is switched to active mode or rest mode by alliance, if you have Son Goku, Son Gohan Adolescent, Son Goten, and Trunks Youth in play in your battle area, choose this one card and up to 1 of your battle cards and switch to active mode. So the auto once per turn takes a lot to have. Like you have to have a stacked field for this, but I think it can do a lot, being able to untap itself and a card. I just don't know why it's 14k. It could just be having, if is there a reason why having 10k would make it broken? I don't know. I guess they're building around something. I'm just not seeing it. But yeah, so we'll look at the Son Gohan and Son Goten familiar bonds. I believe it's one of the red-green cards, but playing cards for free is great, and then being able to switch cards to active mode again is great. So that's that. Next up, we've got Broly Counter Reversal. This is one of the prime targets from the Dormant Legends to play. So permanent during your turn, this card gets plus 5k power and it can attack cards in active mode. So being able to swing at those cards can really disrupt your opponent. And then also, when your opponent activates a counter skill, deal 1 damage to them. That's obnoxious. I can say that word. I can say obnoxious. That's an obnoxious skill to play around for the entirety of the game. Sure, you can remove this guy, but just the fact that your opponent has to pay a life to activate cards to, on a defensive card can feel real bad. So I think I'm going to say that's a really. So there's that. I think this card will be played in the red Broly, and I think it's also an evolved target too, so look out for that. Next up, we've got Dependent Brother Son Gohan. So it's an EX Evolve for 2 red on top of a Son Gohan with energy of 3. So you can play on this, you can counterattack, play this for 1, and then after that, you can play this for 2 energy. Wow, what a value. So it's got double strike, and when the card evolves in this card, draw 2. And if there are no other battle cards you can play in your battle area, choose up to 1 green Goten, 1 green Trunks, youth cards with any cost of 4 from your drop area, and play them. 1 green Trunks, youth, any cost of 4, and play them. I guess, I think those are the red-green cards, right? We'll look into it. So, I guess the idea is that you play this for 1, swing with leader, combo off the 2 Gotens and the Goten and the Trunks, and then you EX evolve into this guy, and then draw 2, and then also just get a new Goten and Trunks from there. So that seems good enough to me. There's no other. I mean, the other thing you can do is you can just familiar bonds for 2 red energy, and I guess you can even do it like if you're playing like a wish deck, you can play this for free, and then play this for also free. And just get a lot of value from there. So that can be good. Are there red green? I mean, this is Son Gohan and Son Goten. So this is Goten with an energy cost of 4, right? I guess these are the green cards, right? There we go. But this card's still. This still is a Son Goten, so you can get this for free. Huh, okay. Anyways, let's look at the green cards. So, when we got this Chaozu. Active main, play this card in your owner's drop area, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, and it costs 2 less and KO it. Cool. It's, you spend 1 energy to get rid of something that's 2 energy. That's good. Good economy. Next up, it's me and my fiance when we go to Dairy Queen. It's a double sundae. That's a really funny joke. Oh, dang it, I said really. Oh, God. It was worth it. So, this is one of the leader extra cards. If your leader card is Raditz, it gains plus 15k power duration in the battle. Then choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and it costs 2 or less and KO it. This card doesn't depend on it being your turn, like a lot of these like extra cards that pop things. So that's good. I don't think it's terribly good, but it's okay. I don't know if it's double Sunday. It just seems like a regular Sunday. This is the green negate. So if your leader card is green, negate the attack, and choose up to 1 of your battle cards with any cost of 1 and or 1 of your opponent's battle cards with any cost of 1 KO it. Wow, this is like a strict upgrade of full power energy, right? Let's look at that. Yeah, choose up to 1. Yeah, that is a strict upgrade. They couldn't think of anything better than that. They just had to strictly say, oh, Noah's playing full power energy, so we're gonna play this one for the greater good. Yeah, Noah's playing full power energy. I don't think this is gonna be Shocking Deathball is better in so many ways, unless you just need more negates. I can see this, but there's that. Next up, we've got Krillin. He's a 10k that does nothing. Sounds about right. Next up, we've got Raditz Saiyan in Arms. This is a super rare. When you play this card, draw 1. Cool. Raditz needs some more card draw, and then also for 1 red, 1 green, place this card in owner's drop area. If your leader card is a green Saiyan card, choose to 1 Vegeta and 1 Nappa card with energy cost 2 or less and 10k power from your deck. Send to your warp and shuffle your deck. At the start of your next main phase, play all the cards sent to the warp by the skill in your battle area. So this card is good when you remember to activate to resolve this. I played a stream match where I totally forgot, and then I think it still was all right, but I think the thing that holds this card's effect back is that not the energy cost, but rather there are not any like super good Nappas or Vegetas to play. There are some, and I think you can like get away with it, but nothing crazy from this. it's still a Raditz though, so you can still get some surge from your leader. In worst case, it's just a one energy draw one. But I'm not for super rare. I'm not terribly impressed. Next up, the Cyberman Endless Explosions blocker. Permanent. You can include as many copies of this card in your deck as you like. So you can have a 50 card deck of this. And also, when this card is KO'd, choose a 20 opponent's battle card at any cost of 1 or less and KO it. Full Power Energy is getting no sympathy today. Dang. Sun Gohan Momentary Awakening. When you play this card, look at the top 7 cards from your deck. Choose it to 1 green Sun Goku card among them. Add them to your hand and shuffle your deck. There are some green Gokus. I don't know. I already spieled about how these cards are all right, but not. They're a little bit outdated, but I like them. And also it's a green Gohan, which is important for another card we're going to find out real soon about. Urgent Aid Kami. When you play this card, draw 1. Also, when your opponent switches cards to active mode using a non-awakening skill during their turn, choose it to 1 of your energy and place its owner's drop. I should have just said this is a Borgos or Whis, but we got through it. I'd say the best thing about this is that it's also a green god. So, and it's also a Namekian, so you can search this with like Assimilate and stuff. But you can play this card, and it's, which is already fine enough, just the fact that it's out there. But then this card can proc Heroes Mafuba, which is a good enough negate as long as you meet their conditions. So I think this can be good, but not. It's probably one of the better variants of these untap 1 dudes, but or like there's no real like archetype name for this. These I don't know, these untap energy and negative synergy cards. So whatever. There's that. This is good. Next up, we've got Hidden Power of the Saiyans. So if your leader card is green, your opponent may place the battle card they're playing in their owner's drop area instead of playing it. If they didn't, your opponent chooses 2 cards from the hand placed in their drop area. I think 9 times out of 10 Preemptive Strike is better than this, unless you're doing like strict hand control with like Raditz. But additionally, this doesn't have any restriction on what it can actually use the counterplay on. So there's that. Additionally, as far as I'm aware, if your opponent plays a card that has Deflect and you play this on reaction, they have to discard 2 cards. They can't send it to their drop area with Deflect because it's not affected. Deflect means you're not affected by counterplay cards, which this is, and so it can't send it to the grave or to the discard pile because it's not affected. It's kind of like when your opponents, you say choose 1. When you have like some barrier dudes out, there's no targets because you can't choose because of barrier. That's how I'm ruling it. That's how I think it's going to be. I could be wrong, but just a little like neat little thing to say about that. This card's all right. I think Preemptive Strike is better though. Then we've got Super Combo, neat. Next, we've got one of 2 Nappas that we can play off that Raditz. So, active main, choose 1 card in your hand, place in your drop area, choose up to 1 Cyberman card in your deck, and play it. Then shuffle your deck. Neat. That's okay. I'm not super impressed. Next up, we've got the Milhate. It's a Chan Shinhan. Cool. Welcome back to the game. Yajirobe lie in wait. So when you play this card, choose to 1 Vegeta card with energy cost of 6 or less in the battle area and place it in your drop area. This seems bad, but it's okay. Well, actually, it's any Vegeta card with an energy cost 6 or less in a battle area and place it on a drop. This could be like super anti-tech if that's ever like really if that's ever relevant. So keep this in mind. But there's a reason for this card. We'll get into that. All right. Powerball. It's that card I mentioned like 20 minutes ago. So field card, auto when this card is placed in the battle area, choose it to 1 green Great Ape card from your deck, add it to your hand and shuffle it. So you go +1 playing this off. You go +1 if you play this off the red Vegeta. And also active main, switch card to rest mode, shoots to 1 of your red and green sand cards in your battle area, gets +5k power duration of turn. Whatever, it's fine. This card just exists just to be on the field to activate other effects, so we're going to get into that. Next up, we've got Son Gohan, Hope of the People. So only one of these cards can be in play in your battle area. If there's at least 1 Son Goten, Trunks, and Vegeta card in your drop area, reduce the entry cost in your hand by 2. So this is an alternative way to get out that super rare. either you have all of them in your on your field and you can play this card for one, or they are all in your drop area and you can play this guy for one, and then you can do EX evolve stuff. So neat there. Next up, Super Saiyan Broly Legends Unleashed. If your opponent has 3 or more energy, choose one Dormant Legend. Dormant Legend in your battle. You place it in your zone, drop and play this card from your hand. And when you play this card for duration of turn, if your leader card is red Broly card, you can activate its awaken skill even if you have 5 or more life. So this is an important card for when you're playing against a deck that doesn't self-awaken you. Dormant Legend really does depend on your opponent attacking your face, and so if they don't do it, you need to play this to just get the free awaken. Additionally, the fact that you just get a Broly out for free can help a lot of evolve chains as well. So I think immediately you're like, oh, this I don't need to run this card, but I think this is a relevant card for the archetype, and being able to just have options when your opponent isn't attacking you. So nice card. I think you should run it at 3 or 4 if you're playing like a red Broly deck. So next up, we've got Unlikely Duo Son Goku. This is a 20k Goku, which is relevant for like Gogeta stuff. There's not like a lot of 20k Gokus, but additionally, when you play this card, look at the top 7 cards from your deck. Choose to 1 Earthling or Namekian among them, empty and shuffle. Not impressive in my mind, but it's whatever. It's a Goku that replaced it's like as a draw 1. That's a 20k, so there's that. We don't have too many 20k 3 drops, so that's neat, I guess. You could use this with the the Agent of Destruction Vegeta, and now you've got like red green, and they're both 20k, but I guess you still need blue energy for Gogeta, so never mind. I'm stupid. Next up, we've got Vegeta the Cruel. Love this card, one of my favorite cards in this set. So counterplay, play this card. If a multicolor card is in your energy, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 1. And when you play this card during your opponent's turn, choose to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, energy cost of 4 or less, KO it. Then your opponent chooses 1 card in their hand and sends it to their warp. That's a lot of value. That's a lot of damage there. So being able to KO your opponent's card, being able to warp a card for your opponent's hand, being able to play this for 2, and just sit there and just... If your opponent just played something for 4 energy that doesn't have barrier, you can just play this for 2. You get a lot of advantage, a lot of tempo swing, and then your opponent's just kind of feeling bad about it. So, great card. Just the fact that it also plays itself for future chains as well. So, there's that. And let's go into the 4-drop Piccolo. So, Piccolo Special Beam, Cannon Unleashed. If you have a Green Son Goku with 20k power in your battle area, and Piccolo Special Beam Cannon Unleashed isn't in play in your battle area, you can play this card from your hand without paying its energy cost. So the idea is that you can play this 3k Goku, and then you can play this for free. Woo, cool. Active main once per turn, choose up to 1 Goku with 20k power or more in your battle area, place it in your owner's drop, and then you choose 1. If you haven't seen like the first couple episodes of Dragon Ball Z, here's a spoiler: he dies. But choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with any cost 2 or less, ignoring barrier, and KO it. If you KO a card, your opponent chooses 2 cards in the hand and place them in the drop area. That's a spicy value, actually. And then also, you can just choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. So a lot of flexibility there. For 3 energy, the idea that you can do is you can play this duo Son Goku, find a Piccolo off the top or some card to kind of replace it. Earthling and Namekian are pretty easy to find and fill your deck with. You play this for free, and then presumably you can even attack with this Goku and then sacrifice him with this, and then just go from there. So not too terrible of an effect. Additionally, this card stays on the field, so if you can play like some more 20k Gokus down the line, you can just keep proccing this effect. And just the fact that you're able to KO like a cheap card and then make your opponent discard 2, I think, is underrated. Just in general, I think this is a good card, and maybe we'll see some play through some like hand destruction decks. Next up, we've got a Raditz Saiyan Assailant. So when you play this card, choose 2 cards from your opponent's battle area with energy cost of 3 or less, KO them. Then your opponent chooses cards from their hand equal to the number of cards you KO'd with the skill and send them to the warp. So we are seeing some cards that have this effect. I think there's one in like one of the starter decks as well. not too terribly impressed. The fact that this is a 4 cost and the effect is that you can destroy three energy worth of cards doesn't impress me too much. It's kind of impressive, and then also being able to warp 2 cards from your opponent's hand, that's slightly more impressive. Maybe this card's okay, but for 4 energy, I feel like if I'm spending 4 energy on a card, it better win me the game, and I don't. This just gains me a lot of advantage. I don't think this wins me the game. So, all right. So we got the 4-drop Go-Tens and Trunks. So EX Evolve on the red Sun Go-Ten with any cost of 2. So you can just EX Evolve these guys for free, and if you're not using him off the Gohan that plays him. But when a card evolves in this card and your leader card is a Sun Gohan Adolescence, draw 1. Switch card to active mode and choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, any cost of 4 or less, and KO it. So that's a good effect for a free EX Evolve. And then also, so this is a 10k one. It's got blocker, and when a card evolves in this card, if your leader is a Sun Gohan Adolescent, draw 1, switch this card to active mode. So, you've got like some attack here with Goten and some defense here with Trunks. You get to draw 2 cards, and additionally, you get to pop something. So I think that's okay in effects. But you have to evolve these guys. So if you get these for free off of from some Gohan, then you just have 2 bodies. This doesn't even have blocker. It does have blocker. Okay, never mind. It still has blocker. So this one's obviously better. The Trunk is better, but that's just something to consider. I think it's all right, but not too crazy. And then we've got the 6-drop Grade 8 Vegeta Energy Manipulation. Man, this card's a common. You'd think it'd be a rare, but so activate if there's a Power Ball in your battle area and a Grade 8 Vegeta Energy Manipulation is not in play. You play this card from your hand on top of a Vegeta in your battle area with energy cost of 3. So you're able to play this on top of Vegeta the Cruel, or that red one from like 20 minutes ago. When you play this card, activate the skill until the end of your opponent's turn. This card can't be KO'd by skills or battles, or removed from battle area by skills, which feels good, being able to just have a free 30k swing on your opponent with knowing they can't KO this card in any way. And then when this card is placed in drop area from a battle area by a skill, you may choose 1 red card and 1 green card in your energy, switch into rest mode. If you do, choose it to 1 Vegeta card that is both red and green in your drop area with energy cost of 6 or less, and play it. So we'll go into what that does. The fact that it has to be in your drop area is okay. The fact that you're going to be cycling through your deck with Raditz with his look at top 5 and drop 1, it is very I don't know if very is one of them. It is easy. It is pretty easy. It is pretty easy to do that. So you have to have the biggest thing is having the 2 energy to untap for it, and this is also why this Yajirobe is a good card, because it just does it for you. There's one that's coming from the tournament packs. I think it's a red one that does it for free, so that's probably the better version of doing this. But just having this big 30k monkey that your opponent's afraid to pop because you get a lot of value for it feels good. So there's that, and let's look at the multicolor cards. So we've got first we got Broly Demonic Origins. This is one of those energy exhaust cards that don't have energy exhaust if you have the right, like if you have another one of the red green cards in your energy area. So I enjoy these cards. I think they help out multicolors in a lot of ways, and being able to not get punished for having wanting to charge more red green energy is it just feels good. So additionally, it has an effect when you summon it too. What kind of madness is this? So when you play this card, if your opponent chooses one card in their hand and places in the drop area. So not amazing, but it still does something, and maybe it can do something important. So there's that. Next up, we've got Son Goku and Piccolo budding friendship. So energy exhaust. It has alliance. When this card attacks, you may activate the skill by choosing one or more of your red or green cards in your battle area and switch to rest mode. I don't think I've explained that this video. So, but this card gains power equal to the total power of the card. Switch to rest mode by the skill for the duration of the battle. And if you switch to Sun Gohan Youth to rest mode, using the skill, draw 2 cards and gain critical for duration of the turn. So that's why these 1-drop Gohan, this red one, and this green one here. That's why they're kind of important, because turn 1 you can use this to search out a green Son Goku, which is, oh look, this is a green Son Goku technically. So you can find this, and then turn 2 drop this, have a 20 or 15k yeah, 15k crit that also draws you 2. That's a lot of value, and there's that. So next up we've got Broly Rampage Barrage. This is a 4-drop red Broly, so you can play it for free off of Dormant Legend. Also, you can just play this for 1 red energy by using a rival. But for only one of these cards can be in your play in your battle area, and you can't play this card unless there's Dormant Legends in your drop area. So I think this is a cool way to balance these cheap arrival cards by saying, hey, you can't, you have to have Dormant Legends in your drop area. Of course, you can always just run multiple copies of Dormant Legends and then place them in your drop area manually, and being able to play these, which could be really, oh man, I'm deck building right now. This could be a good way to run like red-green Raditz, because you can just, if you have them in your hand, you can use like your leader effect to put them in the drop for free. That's a good idea. I'm gonna have to watch out for that later. But there's that. So I think it's somewhat balanced, and just assumes that. So also, when you play this card, choose 20 of your opponent's battle, up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards against minus 10k power until the end of your opponent's turn. And also, when your opponent combos, you may choose 10 cards in your hand and place, or sorry, not 10, jeez. When your opponent combos, you may choose 1 card in your hand and place it in your drop area. If you do so, choose 1 card in your opponent's combo area and place it in his owner's drop and negate the skill duration of the turn. Whew. So the way the timing for this works is that if you use a rival, you're not gonna be able to use this effect into your opponent's next turn, but at least until your next turn, right? Pretty much making sure. I'm trying to make sure. Okay, so when your opponent combos, you may choose 1 card in your hand and place in your drop area. That's optional, right? It's not just the first time they do stuff, right? I feel like I'm probably off about these rulings, so just don't listen to me. But being able to just disrupt your opponent's combo for dropping a card that's probably useless in your hand anyways, that's fine. So there's that. Next up, we've got this Sun Gohan and Sun Goten Familiar Bonds. So this card gains power equal to the total power cards switch to the rest mode by the skill and triple strike. So that's a slightly more important alliance in general. Also, when you play this card, activate the skill for the duration of the turn. When your opponent uses the skill to play a battle card, your opponent chooses 2 cards from their life and place them in their drop area. I don't feel like that's great in a lot of ways, but maybe they're playing like the 1-drop negates that play the card. So if they play, if they negate the attack with that, then boom, they lost 2 life. That's fine, but there's not as much playing cards during your opponent's turn now that Shugesh is gone. So it's fine. I'm just not very impressed by it. Oh, I said very. Dang it. So I don't. If it wasn't duration of the turn, and there's no way to cheat this guy out during your opponent's turn, right? Because all these are like active main kind of things, right? Yeah, they're all like auto active main, so you can't really cheat this out on your opponent's turn. I could be wrong. Let me know if I'm wrong, but I feel like you can really only play this guy on your turn, and then it's not likely that your opponent is able to activate your auto anyways. Next up, we've got Broly Tragedy Foretold. Like this card a lot. So it's an arrival for 1 red and 1 green, which is somewhat steep, but the fact that, think about it this way, you're playing at this, a 6-drop for 2 energy. You also have to pitch 1 or 2 cards for it as well, but when you play this card, choose 2 of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring burying these, get minus 15k power until the end of your opponent's turn. If you also don't know how combos work, is that combos don't add to your card's power until like damage is calculated or like powers are compared. So they can swing at this like 10k dude that has barrier, combo up to like 100k, and this still pops it because it gives it minus 15k power before the combo power kicks in. So being able to tie this to an arrival card that can play during the battle area, I can see this. Yeah, if people will have to play around this, they'll have to see, oh, they've got 2 energy open, I can't just go all in, they're going to play this Broly. And then also it has an auto when your opponent the same thing as the 4-drop Broly, but you don't even have to discard a card. You can just say, hey, I don't like that card in your combo area, get rid of it. So that's fantastic in a lot of ways, and I think if Broly takes off, this will be a good card for it. If this card doesn't have like double strike or crit, which I think is the correct move, but I could see it becoming a real problem if it did. Just, you know, for 2 energy, you get to get this 30k double strike. What are you, Mira? All right, so next up we've got Vegeta Saiyan Elite. So this is the big 6-drop that you're able to play off the Great Ape one. So it's got double strike. Auto once per turn when this card attacks, your opponent chooses 2 cards in their hand, sends them to the warp. That's good. Being able to warp 2 cards based on just attacking helps out a lot. And also, activate once per turn for 1 red, 1 green. If your leader card is a green Saiyan card, deal 1 damage to your opponent. Neat. These cards are cool. These effects are cool. It's, I don't know, it's an alright finishing way. Just being able to swing into your opponent with a big 20k double strike, making them warp 2 cards and just go from there, and then just ping the last life for 2 energy. So there's that. And lastly, we've got our 7-drop Kaioken Son Goku, Defender of the Earth. Deflect, energy exhaust. If there are 20 or more red or green cards in your drop area, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 2. That is a like easy, like it's if you build your deck, that's like no problem reaching that. And also, when your life reaches 1 for duration of the turn, this gains triple strike and dual attack, and you can't be KO'd by your opponent's skills. And also, active main, it has an active main, and this is not a once per turn active main. So, choose 1 card in your life, add to your hand, then your opponent reveals their hand, and you choose 1 card from it, place in your drop area, or place it in the drop area, and this card gets plus 25k power for duration of the turn. Excuse me, plus 25k power for duration of the turn. So, if you're like 6 life, you're able to just take 5. Additionally, you get to rip 5 cards out of your opponent's hand, and then you get to have it. What's 25k? Like what? 150k power or so. That's absurd. And then you also have tool attacks coming in, and you know that you can make it so your opponent at least one of them gets out because your opponent can't do anything. So yeah, I think this can be a great win condition. It's dependent on getting to 5. I think getting to 5 energy is going to be harder than having 20 or more red and green cards in your drop area. Especially like the leaders I can see this with already is just like, of course, there's the new green one with, you know, the burst 7, but just the fact like this, where is it? Like this Goku already. Every time this card attacks, you place 3 cards into your drop area. So 3 times 15, or 3 times 5 is 15. So turn 5, you're gonna have 5 cards in your drop area at least. So I don't think that's absurd to get there with this leader. I think it's a better leader for that. But that's that. Yeah, you get to 5 energy, cool, you win. If you don't, oh, cool, you lose. And then lastly, we've got the secret rare from this set. I'm actually I prefer the secret rare to the other one. I think this one is way cooler, which means 100%. I'm going to open up the blue and yellow one. But so it's an 8-drop ultimate arrival for 3 red and 2 green, which seems really steep until, oh, dang it. I'm so close to the end. Which seems steep. But when you play this card, choose 1 card in your life, place it in your drop area, then deal 2 damage to your opponent. That's a lot of damage. Like, being able to like sneak in 2 damage on your opponent like during a combo phase can really catch them off guard. Sure, you have to pay 5 energy, but my experience with these decks is that I feel like the games are going to get longer, to be honest. So I don't think it's too absurd to say that. I know I just was making fun of that 5-drop Goku, but I think this card can be played just as well as he can. Also, when your opponent combos with a battle card with energy cost of 2 or less, choose up to 1 card in your opponent's combo area and place it in your owner's drop area. So it just means that you can just kind of cheese out a lot of their combos. I'd say a lot of the combos that are 2 or less are the free 5k ones they're doing, and most super combos too. So that's crazy. And then also like most of the 4k 4 drops or higher are like 10k combos, which means they have to expend energy for it, and they don't want to do that. So I think this card is good. If you're playing red and green already, I think this card will be a perfect ultimate just to sneak on in there. Being able to take 2 of your opponent's life just for playing 5 energy, and unless they have like literally cold bloodlust, they can't negate this, which you can only have 1 of right now. So I think that's a fair trade for that. So I think that's everything, right? That should be everything. That's cool. Hopefully this you got something from it. Hopefully it wasn't just like buzzed rambling from a tired egg. But yeah, I think these are exciting cards. I look forward to playing with them. Red, I think it's a little unfortunate that the red and green cards got like what 2 archetypes, while the blue and yellow ones got 3. But what are you gonna say? They love blue and yellow a lot more than they like red green a lot of the time. Like if you just look at other sets, but I'll digress about that. I think I guess you kind of have like 3, right? You've got like Broly, Raditz, and like red green Goku. But I don't think there is a lot less of an identity with these cards than the other ones. So take that as you will. I'm going to go to bed as soon as I physically can. Thank you guys for watching and making it this far. I almost said it. I am monumentally surprised that I didn't say really good, really, or what was the other one? I was even had to say. What was it? Not obnoxious. Degenerate. I didn't say degenerate for the rest of the day. So I'm actually surprised I didn't do that. But I'm going to bed. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys think about these cards, and I'll catch you all next time.